All right, and we are back. Diamond K in here, Greg in the building. What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
You man. Yeah. So we got topics and all that. So I'll lead the way. What we got on deck?
All right, the main topic we're going to talk about today is this juvenile crime.
Juvenile crime,
in Baltimore, but better yet, I think it's all over now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're going to talk about Baltimore specifically. But it's all over with this juvenile crime getting out of hand. And what went wrong?
It is definitely a society thing. Going back to when we were young, there was a shift in how you raised kids. And I think that plays a big part in how our generation disciplined.
Right.
And then when those kids got a little bit older, how they went out in the world. And now it's just, there's such a low regard for just life in general. There's a lack of empathy. And, so you always had crime. You always had people that are quote unquote snatch your old lady's purse,
right,
and that kind of thing. You always had that, but where we've gotten now is just it's a whole nother level.
Yeah, and I think it's a mixture of a few things that contributed to the juvenile crime. It is the way it is now, and one it starts at home.
Definitely.
I'll say it, and I'll say it a million times. It starts at home. Just like you say, the discipline is not there no more, because the law says that you cannot discipline your children.
You remember when? I don't remember exactly when it was, but it didn't happen when we were little.
No,
but I guess maybe when we became teenagers or something like that, they started this timeout thing.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, they started this timeout thing, and they started shunning people that would beat their kids. So you remember a time like if we was out with our family, you messing up, they take you in the bathroom, tighten you up real quick, bring you back out in the mall, wherever you was at, and you be all right. Or they might do it right there, hit you right there.
Because nobody would say nothing.
And people would be like, yeah, he was fucking up. Right. That's what he gets.
Exactly. That
like changed.
Like you say, but I think from the households that we came from, you knew the rules before you went out.
Yeah.
Because you were already told.
Right. Now, I don't remember me or my sisters getting beat in public like that, because like you said, this is before we even left the house. You already know you're not gonna go out there and embarrass nobody, my grandmother or my mother. You ain't going out, you ain't embarrassing us.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you do, you know what's gonna happen when we get back in this house.
Exactly.
And you know what I mean? And it's a fear. You had that fear. Healthy fear.
Right. And even with my kids, I had my kids in the 90s. And they knew the rules before we even left. I never had to beat them in public. I had to really discipline them, period. Because, the rules were there from day one.
Right.
So, we went into the store, they already knew what they could and couldn't do. So it wasn't like, Billy, stop doing that or blah, blah, blah. No. That, and then like you go into the stores and you see these white kids just having a fit. Because they can't get what they want or they way. They running around like maniacs and whatever, man. No. But like you say, I'm going to say the late 80s to the early 90s is when that timeout crap started. And then, or go stand in a corner and all that, bullshit. You know what I mean, man? And then this was the killer. And I think this is like what? The early to the middle 90s. They can call the cops on you?
Yeah, that just made it like,
man.
It made it hard for you to establish the authority. The kids collectively stop having the respect for authority. And the first authority that you encounter is in your house.
Exactly.
And if you don't respect the authority that's in your house, how are you going to respect the authority that's out in the street, or in society or any of that?
Right.
So now, we went to school together. So, this story I'm getting ready to bring up you know well.
I already know what you're about to say.
So in elementary school, right? You remember that teachers had the ability to put their hands on you if you was messing up.
Right.
And it was completely accepted. Like, because it wasn't like they were, I don't know. It's just, you remember what's Miss Coleman? That was Miss Coleman.
The 3 18-inch rulers.
She was one of those.
Yeah.
She would take the ruler, and she didn't do it to everybody for any little thing. But it depended on what you did.
Depending on what you did. But, and like you say, then she would tell you, go tell your parents, or she would send a note home to say she did it, and then you probably get an ass whipping once you go home. There wasn't all this bullshit like it is now, where the parents come up to school and want to fight. Why you put your hands on my child? Because you knew in Miss Coleman class what you could and couldn't do.
Now me,
I know.
In Miss Lucas' class, I pushed the envelope. I didn't know that she was going to do it first. Okay, I thought I was getting away with something.
That was a big woman.
That was definitely a big woman. But and it was funny because I was messing around in the class, got hit by the teacher with a ruler. I was super embarrassed, and I didn't react, I guess, the way that I should have. Right.
All right.
And I thought that my parents was going to be on my side. No, they was not. It was and that was an example, like you said. Right. You get beat in school, you got beat when you got home.
So what happened when you got home?
I got beat when I got home. Oh, like, you did what?
Right. But see, back then, like I say, it wasn't none of this. Oh, I'm going to sue and all this other bullshit. No. You know what I mean, man? It was discipline because, like you say, in Miss Lucas' class or whoever or Miss Coleman, and we just using them for examples. You knew that you can't be in there cutting up or doing what you want to do because, like Miss Coleman and I got that ruler on the hand a few times, boy, and that shit hurt, man. Fuck that, you know what I mean, man? But it's like, okay, that's out the window now because the teachers can't do that now. Everybody's scared of a lawsuit. Like you say, then the parents want to come up to school fighting. And then, like you say, the parents can't discipline the kid at home because the kid know what he can and can't get away with.
Right.
It's just like when these kids steal these damn cars now. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Well, I'm sitting up here waiting for my parents to come get me.
Yeah. And it's just it's so many things, and I talk about her often on my show. On the corner of Bernice, Miss Elizabeth, that was on the corner. I know you right.
Yeah.
She was on the corner. She was what you call a nosy neighbor. She was always outside, and she lived on the corner, so her house was bigger than everybody else's. Right. That was like in the middle of the block.
Right.
So she had that whole side area. She didn't let us stand in front of her house. She didn't let us stand on the side of the house. Right. She would always come out there. You know what I mean?
She was strict.
Yes.
And we thought she was mean.
Right.
And she was strict. Like you say, she didn't have none of that nonsense. There wasn't no trash on the front or the side or the back of her house. There wasn't no hanging out. It was none of that.
Right. And everybody in the neighborhood respected it.
Right.
Ain't nobody talk crazy to her.
Never.
You know what I mean?
Never.
Ain't nobody think to even talk crazy
Never.
to her. And she was an older lady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was just, and there were people like that throughout the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? She might have been one that was on the kind of the extreme, but it was other people where as though their parents, or the older folks came outside and said something. They didn't have to be your mother. It didn't even have to be somebody that they had kids that was our age and we even knew them like that. We would just see them in the neighborhood. They were older and they could give us direction and we would respect it.
Right.
It's not like that now.
No,
it's not like that now.
No, everything, like you say, man. If an adult say something to one of these kids, man, that can go left real quick. You know what I mean, man? So
you remember like being out, and maybe we, with our friends outside, coming from school, going to school somewhere in the neighborhood, and it's an older person and somebody uses profanity,
right?
And it's kind of like, yo, what you doing? It's an older person right there. Right. You know what I mean? We policing each other because you're not even trying to use profanity in front of an adult as a kid.
Because you want to show, now kids are going to be kids and they're going to cuss and stuff.
Yeah.
But you want to have respect.
Right.
Because that could be your family member that some kids are cutting up in front of. So you want respect. You know what I mean? Like, they go Miss So-and-so, you keep it cool until you get out of earshot.
Yes.
And then you go back to, being doing what you're doing,
And I think that these things are some of the things that we gave up.
Right.
When we started timeout and you started not having putting their hands on the kids when they mess up.
Right.
Now, some people are going to say, "Oh no, nobody liked quote unquote to get a beating. Like it's not something." But I recognize that it was necessary in points.
Listen,
it helped me.
I didn't like getting beatings, and I got my fair share. Like I'm quite sure you did.
Definitely.
But the thing is, it wasn't child abuse. It was discipline. It was because I did something wrong.
Right.
It's like you did something wrong.
Right.
And it was so you don't ever don't do that again. Don't make that mistake again.
Right.
That was the reason why you got disciplined. That was the whole point. So I know not to play with matches. I know not to,
absolutely,
do something stupid that could cause, something serious to happen.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? This is why you got a beating, so, because if I do that, I'm gonna get my ass whipped.
Right.
And I ain't like ass whipping, and I ain't like being punished either.
Right.
Now, all that shit's out the window now.
Because now with the kid, because we gonna have some people that's gonna watch this video and they're gonna say, "No, y'all, we're condoning beating the kids, and you don't have to. No. You don't have to beat the kids in order for them to listen." But there has to be the kids have to have some fear of consequences, and the way it is now, they can say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna do such and such." She ain't gonna say though. She can only take it. They can only take it but so far. And if they try to put their hands on me, I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna call the man.
Okay. So you not disciplining and correcting these kids from day one at an early age. So when they ass wind up in jail for something serious, then what?
Yeah.
Then what? Then you're a bit crying about, oh, my son and all this other bullshit. Yeah, right. That's because you should have been correcting that little bastard from day one, so he wouldn't end up this way.
Right.
Right. It's all about the choices that you make, and you have to teach your children they need to think before they react.
Right.
You know what I mean, man? And that's why, and then like, okay, like with these state laws that we got now on the books, that's enabling these kids.
Definitely.
Enabling them to, okay, I know if I go out here and steal a car, nothing's going to happen.
And it's so crazy that you said that. I didn't even think about it like that, but that's true.
Right.
Society, the laws are enabling kids to do this, and then they're gonna complain about the kids doing the crimes and the things when they're only gonna get a smack on the wrist.
Right, because the cops are pointing the fingers at the parents are pointing the fingers at this. I mean, it's like, everybody's, oh, it's the schools and this and this. No. It's everything, and everything is contributing into enabling these kids to. These kids are not dumb. They know what they can and cannot do.
Right.
These kids, we have to understand that the world we live in, with everything at your fingertips for information.
Right.
These kids know, as long as I can keep it like just the stealing cars or blah, blah, blah. And then that shit's going to eventually graduate. I mean, it's okay. And now it's out of hand.
It is completely out of hand.
And then just like with everything, then when it starts hitting the white areas, then it's when they want to react.
Now it's a problem.
Then it's a problem.
It's an epidemic. It's a major problem.
It's a major problem. It's an epidemic. We need to get a hold of this shit right now and blah, blah, blah. But as long as it's us doing it to us,
right? It's
like, the council members are like, the state assembly is like, everybody's pointing the finger.
Like you said, until it touches your community.
Right. Exactly, man. Exactly, man. And like I say, man, the cops can't do nothing. It's like, okay, we can arrest them, but we can only hold them till their parents come get them. And the kid's sitting there talking shit to you. There's nothing you can do to me.
Right.
And he's back out doing the same shit again. And then I'm tired of watching on the news where you got some fucking mother or father up there. Well, I can't control him. I can't do nothing with him. You should have put your foot in his ass from day one.
Right.
It's not about child abuse. And like I say, my boys are all in their 20s. I had rarely had to put my hands on them. Rarely. And they all doing well for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy out here, man. It's like, hold up. Well, if you are raising this child, you are providing for them and putting clothes on their back, feeding them, blah, blah, blah. And they living in your house? Who makes the rules then?
I mean, a lot of times it seems like the kids are making the rules because it's, I've dated women over the years that are raising kids, and the kids run the house. Right. The kids dictate what they eat. The kids dictate what she's cooking.
Right.
And if they don't want to eat what she's cooking, they will say it. And a lot of times, women that I have come in contact with over the years will make those adjustments based on what the kids want to eat. I don't want to eat that. They won't eat, and she'll, come up with some other solution. They can order something or whatever. And it all of this comes together to create unruly kids that don't respect authority.
Right. Because you know how we came up.
Yeah.
If it was meatloaf, that's what your ass was eating, was meatloaf.
And if you got a problem with it, you ain't eating nothing. And you said, but I can eat a sandwich or this or that. No, you can't.
No.
This is what we eating.
But see, they thinking like, I'll take their phone or they'll take their video game.
Right.
That's what? I mean, come on, no. You give these kids this stuff to pacify them. A lot of these, okay, like even with the video games, a lot of these games, these kids shouldn't even be playing in the first place.
They're adult themed games,
right? You know what I mean? But it's just it's a lot of things contributing. It's just like you said, and I know females that do the same thing. Kid don't want this. The kid want to eat here, or want McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or whatever, and they go out and do it. Yeah. Because one, the kid run them and they too lazy to cook.
Right.
So it's a lot of factors, man. And until these laws change, man, until they start giving the parents some kind of power or authority over these kids, to not hold them, like, oh, what? You touch me, I'll call 911. And I've known, I got a good friend where her kids have told her that.
Yeah, sounded like a dude from Rocky V. Touch me and I'll sue.
Yeah, man. Fuck that, man. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nah. You call 911. You need to find somewhere else to stay then.
Absolutely.
Shit, man. Like I told you, man. It's the laws need to change, man. I mean, because it seems like everybody's pretty much handcuffed, with their hands tied behind their back because nobody can do anything right now. The parents can't do nothing. Schools can't do nothing. The law can't do nothing. The politicians won't get off their ass and do anything. It's like, well, what do you do?
Hands are tied.
And then every evening you watching the news, there's some more of this dumb shit with carjackings or these damn with the carjackings or these stealing these cars, man. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just getting out of hand.
And carjacking to me is the worst because, obviously I don't want to see somebody's car getting stolen, but when the car is just stolen, that's one thing. But when you carjack somebody and take their vehicle at gunpoint, that is super traumatizing for them.
It is,
it's so much worse to me.
And then. It's sad that when the law-abiding citizen shoots one of these kids, man, then why could you do that? Then why is he out here doing this shit then? Because that's what's going to start happening, man. Where people
think you're right.
Are going to start the average law-abiding citizen is going to start taking things in their own hand to protect themselves and their property. Because y'all won't do it. I was in fear for my life.
But that's a fact.
Right.
That's a fact.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, like I say, man, I'm just glad that in this day and age, I am not raising no kids.
Yeah.
Like I say, I can't play by these rules, man. I'm sorry.
These rules,
I can't play by
rules are crazy.
Man, fuck that, man. I can't play by them rules, man.
And maybe it's different if you grew up in an era where all of these things were in effect. But we grew up in an era where we know a different way, and to have to play literally with your hands tied behind your back, basically, is too much.
Exactly,
too much.
All right, man. We ended last week, but we didn't get to talk about. I'm saying this guy's name, Senator Tuberville, whatever his name is. Real asshole.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Tommy Tuberville.
Yeah, Tommy Tuberville. I mean, Alabama's finest right there, man. A jerk, man. And, they put these people on these committees. And then you got one guy that has the power to hold shit up for almost a year.
Yeah, it's one of the many things about the Congress that are frustrating, and folks have that ability based on the way the rules are set up, and they'll have dumb things like majority and then super majority, like there's some difference, like and you have all these things, and then one person can hold up stuff, and this has happened in the past on lower level things, but very rarely is it this long, and very rarely is it something this serious. And then they're unrelated. Like, he's holding up military confirmations, which and supporters of him, if there are any out there, will point to the fact that the Congress can bring up, some of these promotions on an individual basis.
Right.
But who has time to do every individual promotion? But so it's just like you want to do it collectively.
And that's what the normal way that it's always been done. Yeah. Because and the thing with this idiot, man, one, he's messing with national security. One, two, people that's getting promoted are going to go to different duty stations, so they're going to have to move. They got a lot of these people, service members, have kids and stuff. They got to put them in different schools, and they usually promote certain times of the year, so it coincides for when the new school year starts.
Right.
So these people are already in place. So this kid is not being these families not having to move in the middle of the school year. And this idiot is holding things up. And then he gets up there and say dumb shit like, well, there's too many 4-star generals and admirals. What you mean it's too many? We need these people.
Hey, you being able to speak on this because you're a veteran.
Right.
Somebody like him who doesn't have any service record whatsoever.
None.
Speaking on this. None. I blame Trump for this type of stuff.
Right.
Because it goes back to what we were talking about with the kids and society and how they were raised reflects how they act in society. So you have somebody like Trump who doesn't respect the military.
Draft dodging coward.
Absolutely.
Right.
Doesn't respect the generals. Feels that he knows more than them.
Yeah, right.
And these Republicans are seeing this. And then a lot of them are imitating that same kind of way.
Well, and you're absolutely right, because I was going to go into, I kind of put him in the category with the MAGA Republicans.
Yes,
these assholes that like this guy, man, because you don't agree with some abortion policy, this is how you're going to go about it. It has absolutely nothing to do with the military. I mean, dude, you're holding up. The thing about it, we're on the brink of possibly getting involved into another war. Yeah. And if that's the case, the first thing they're going to do is look at the generals and admirals for knowledge and advice on how to go about this.
Right.
That's why you have these people in place.
Right.
And then he's holding up people. We just had a goddamn Marine general had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Because he was doing 2 jobs because they wouldn't confirm it.
Yes. And so for people that feel as though, and you have people that are, anti-abortion, right?
Yeah.
And feel strongly about that. And I think as you get older, your view on abortion probably evolves, right? So I understand. I feel differently about abortion now than I did when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But that still doesn't mean that I'm going to push how I feel on somebody else to the point where it's affecting livelihoods.
Right.
So you being a veteran, what? Because I've heard Tuberville and others say that there are people in an acting role, or in an acting role in a position. So being a service member, is there a big difference between somebody that's an acting whatever versus the person who's in the position?
Yeah, because the person that's acting is actually doing 2 jobs. I mean, listen, man, it's
so they're doing their actual job and then filling in for something.
For something like that. And then it's just like with the Marine general, what people fail to understand with these generals, I don't give it a 1-star or 4-star or the admirals. These guys normally, or women, they work from sun up past sundown. It's a complex job. you are well, people don't understand what they are in charge of. You know what I mean? It's a complex military, and they have a lot of responsibility, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and if you got a guy that's working, let's say from 5 a.m. till like almost 10 or 11 o'clock at night, dude, I mean, he's killing himself. Mm-hmm. And then you got all this stress of dealing with, you know, issues and you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know what I mean? You know, mm-hmm. and they don't get. See, it's not like Congress. Oh, Congress is going to be out of session until next month and all this other bullshit. No. This is a 24/7 thing. Mm-hmm. This is a 24/7, not with them. Oh, it's time for us to give ourselves a pay raise, or we're going to take off for a couple of weeks or a month, like Congress always does.
Yeah, it's really crazy. They don't work that much.
Exactly, they don't, and it kills me with this jerk. It kills me, man. You know what I mean, man. And then why? See, that's another thing, man. I don't think these military committees to have it should be somebody with some military experience. You know,
agreed.
Here you got this goofy ex-football coach, you know, and he's
so weird.
It's just stupid, man. They put these guys on these committees, and look what he's holding up, man. And then like, if shit hit the fan tomorrow with us getting involved into something overseas, you know, everybody's gonna be, you know, looking at the generals, or what do we do? You know, well, what do you mean what we do? We're waiting on y'all, you know. But you know, like, but back to these MAGA Republicans, like assholes like Matt Gaetz and you know and Ted Cruz and all these other guys,
Marjorie,
man.
Taylor Greene.
Yeah. You know, jerks, man. They are jerks, and Trump. This is the result of Trump.
Absolutely.
And these idiots are taking the dumb stick and running with it. You know what I mean, man? Yeah. I mean, it's serious, man. You know, it's just like. It's one thing that we had to deal with this idiot, and then it's another thing we might have to deal with this idiot again, possibly.
Yeah,
maybe
crazy.
But then you got these followers of his, you know. No, man. I mean, and everything is a joke to these people, man. It's like, you know, like. I mean, it's these people just killed me, man, and they running with it, man. You know.
And it's serious things that they don't take serious.
Right. Exactly. You know what I mean? Okay, let's get off of that because they didn't got my blood pressure going now. Jada Pickett's book flop. Give me your thoughts on that.
Well, you know, it's one of those things because she has consistently torn Will Smith down. Mm-hmm. And so much of their life has been played out in the public.
Right.
And the things that she has hinted with regards to Tupac and all of that, I just think that it's backfired against her.
Right.
I don't know why she thought that people were going to think or believe the foolishness that she was saying. Mm-hmm. And she comes off as one of those type of women that want to control the narrative so much,
right,
that you know it's people are rejecting it, and I'm happy to see it because just like with Trump, if you have somebody that goes against the grain and does some dumb stuff and has success with it, other people are going to imitate it,
right?
And so if she had been successful with this book, I think other people would be trying to imitate this kind of way, and let this be a lesson to you all. Don't follow in her footsteps. Right. To me, it's just this is what she get.
Right. I'm not surprised that the book flopped because even from the beginning, it just seemed like it was like they were trying to just get the drama going, so the book could sell, and it just didn't seem like it was authentic to me. You know,
it definitely
it just didn't seem like it was authentic. So you know, I mean,
but my thing is that. People like to support genuinely good people, and like you said, and authentic is important.
Right.
When that situation happened with Will Smith, with Chris Rock, mm-hmm. I never felt like she supported Will Smith. I never felt like she supported him. I felt like Jada threw him under the bus, like he did that. I ain't telling him he did. I felt like she did that.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of woman would act like that about their spouse. I don't care whether you separated or not, which when they was quote unquote separated, she wasn't trying to act like wasn't trying to act like they were separated. When people was asking them questions like, oh, we seen this, we saw that, they was acting like we dumb or something. Mm-hmm. Like we wasn't seeing what we seeing. Now you're gonna come out because of the book and claim that you were separated.
Right.
Thought that was going to be something that make people want to read the book. No.
Right.
The Tupac lies. No, nobody wanted to read about that.
Right.
And the way she emasculates Will Smith, we see that in public. We don't need to read that in the book. We already see it. Mm-hmm. What are you telling us in the book that we don't already know?
Right. Right.
So nobody was buying that mess.
All right. That's why the book ain't selling. So that's just that. All right. Last week and even yesterday, Trump's kids on the stand.
I hate the word kids in this scenario because
that's what they act
grown.
Like. That's what they
okay, like. But they try to act like the kids, the boys, when you talking about a young black teenager that's on trial for something,
right?
They'll say, "Why you gotta show that picture? He don't look like that no more. He's a thug. He's this. He's that." But they try to paint these grown people like they helpless kids when they not, and especially I don't know who's dumber between Eric or Don Jr. Like I think that the young boy Barron is probably just as smart as those two idiots, right. And he's a kid. You know what I mean?
Well, with Donald Jr. and Eric, I call them Dumb and Dumber.
They absolutely
dumb and dumber, man. I mean, like you say, I can't figure out who's more of an idiot, man. You know what I mean? It's like it's like yesterday. Why? Okay. You're trying to present your case as a defense.
Yeah.
Why would you put this idiot back on the stand when he just self-destructed last week?
Well, the rationale there, and I predict that they're going to probably bring most of them. The defense is going to probably bring most of them, including Trump, back to the stand because the prosecution told the story that they was telling. Mm-hmm. And the defense is trying to tell a story that they're telling.
Right.
And so they're going to bring people back to refute and to try to tell their side of the quote unquote story.
Right. But this is a civil trial. And
yes.
And you've already
it's already been decided.
And it's already been decided. It's like, I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's just like, y'all pretty much done.
But this is the other fact. And this is the part that we've never seen before. So much of this is not about the case. It's about public opinion, and this is part of his campaigning.
Mm-hmm.
And the court, the trial, the conversation after or before testimony is part of Trump's campaign.
Right.
And that's the real part because this, like you said, this case has already been decided. It's just about what's going to be the penalty.
Right.
But he's running. He's doing this for 2024's campaign.
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope he got a good strategy because it don't look good.
He's literally. We used to talk about WCW Nitro and how it didn't seem like they had a plan for anything, and it just seemed like a couple hours before the show started, they would just say, "We're just going to do this." You know what I mean? Right. Whereas there was no kind of storyline or the thing that you did last week contradicts what you did this week.
Right.
And that's what's happening with Trump. They just going by the seat of their pants. Right. It's no plan. It's no rhyme or reason. Mm-hmm. He just don't. He says stuff like Obama's still the president. Like he's having all kind of issues. It's a disaster.
He's a train wreck, man.
Yes.
Enough of him, man, because that's another one that gets me going. Marilyn Mosby trial.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The perjury?
Yeah. So she's found guilty on 2 counts of perjury.
Mm-hmm.
She separated cases, so she has another trial coming up as well. This one maximum would be 5 years per count if they give her the max. She had a public defender, and this is a lot of things. I don't think that they presented the best case.
Man, because it was like jury selection. Then it was like, she's been found guilty. I was like, well, that was quick.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a good idea for them moving that trial out of Baltimore?
No. I know that she thought that it was, and I know that she thought that she couldn't get the result. But I think she may have gotten a better result here.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking, man.
Because where she was at, it was, I don't think that was the best
decision.
Best decision,
right,
yeah.
Because I was just like, probably would have had a better, probably would have made out a little bit better if she was here, because a lot of people did like her though.
It's absolutely jury selection, and
right.
Everybody doesn't like her.
A lot of people did though,
but a lot of people do,
yeah, right?
And I think that she would have, rolling the dice here versus there. I think she got some bad advice with regards to that.
Right. Yeah, I hope the system.
I just think that I hate this story, because at one time she was one of the most powerful law enforcement people in this state.
Right.
Now she's literally on trial.
But you know what though, man? Like with black politicians and stuff like that, when it seemed like when blacks or people of color do something, they find swift justice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just amazing, man. It's just like, wow, you know what I mean? But it seemed like when somebody of a white race, the results can be a little bit different a lot of times.
Absolutely. We're just talking about Donald Trump.
Right.
Donald Trump,
exactly.
and the Trump organization found guilty of inflating and deflating. That's fraud. The assets of their company to get favorable loans.
Right.
Other people's money. Right. And this is just a civil trial. He ain't going to jail over this. No. Ain't none of the people involved going to jail over this.
Nope.
But Marilyn Mosby is potentially going to spend time in jail for getting money from her retirement. Her money.
I know.
Crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
That's the kicker right there. It's like this is her money.
This is not a loan from Deutsche Bank or some other kind of place. This is her money.
Yeah. It's so
crazy. She should pay. So she didn't have to pay a penalty. So you make her pay a penalty, whatever. Okay. Even though there's so many people that's in Congress that got COVID forgiveness for businesses, millions of dollars,
doing the same thing.
But it's washed away. They need just forgiveness.
Right.
But no penalty for them.
But see, man, she was a marked target.
Yeah.
And they were out to get her. And to me, like with this Marilyn Mosby shit, this whole thing is petty.
Oh,
it's petty.
Super petty.
But they went and somehow found this and dug this up. Oh, we got her, which cost her the election.
Yeah.
And now she might, like you say, might be possibly spending some time in jail.
Yeah, over this. And what's bad is that the other trial maximum is 30 years per count. And there are two. Now it's never. I've never read of an instance where they gave the max in that situation. So she probably won't have that, but she may spend some time in jail.
It's sad, man. It's a good possibility.
Very sad. Very sad.
Like I said, I wish the sister the best, man.
You too.
Another jack off, Senator Joe Manchin.
I never liked him.
Yeah,
I never trusted him.
Because to me, he was a damn Republican in disguise.
He absolutely is.
You know what I mean? And now you saying that you ain't going to run next year.
He's what they call a D.I.N.O. He's a Democrat name only.
Yeah, that's basically what he is.
All he's done is hold up and that's probably like one of the poorest states in the union.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like we want to just using some an interesting mindset. You want to try to get people to elect you because he's going to run for president. Oh, just so you know, he's going to run for president with Larry Hogan is my prediction on a unity, quote unquote, unity ticket called No Labels. That's what he's going to do. I'm just putting it out there. They've been setting it up for a long time.
Well, I knew that Hogan was going to run, not this election, but the one after, because he's already set it up. He knows too much chaos going on right now.
Yeah.
And by the time that he's ready to run in what's that going to be, 28, 27, 28, whatever it's going to be. You'll have Trump definitely out of the way then. So, like I say, Joe Manchin is an idiot. You know what I mean? And
I don't like Joe Manchin.
And like I say, he really served the Democrats really no purpose at all.
He's only helped Republicans.
And that's all he's did, So,
he's been a thorn in the side of Biden's agenda the whole time.
Right.
And cinema as well.
Right.
And yeah, I just he talks out the side of his neck. I don't like him. And he was not going to win. And that's another reason why he's not running.
Right. All right. On a different note, we want to talk about something we do with sports. Deion Sanders' son's staying in college for another year. Do you think that it's a good idea?
Yes.
Me too.
I don't think, and I'm glad that you brought them up. I don't think that they're ready.
No.
For the NFL.
No.
Under no circumstances.
No.
They also need to get their confidence up more. The team is making a lot of mistakes. They've made a lot of strides, and the team is much better, this team, than the team last year.
True.
Obviously.
Definitely.
And next season's team's going to be better than this team.
Exactly.
He only had 6 months to recruit. There are some changes that need to be made.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Deion Sanders year one in Colorado is a success already.
Right. And like you say, it's not going to happen overnight.
No.
And like I say, I think even though they lost Saturday,
which they could have won that game.
Right. But, the thing is, they are like maybe a few players short of what they need to really, I think next season you're going to see.
They're going to make some adjustments,
right.
But
it's going to be a lot of adjustments.
But his boys are good.
They are. But like you say, I'm glad because like you say, right now they're not ready.
No.
And I think another year because, playing in the HBCU, then going to this league, it is a big difference. It's a big difference, and they are doing well. But I think another year they'd be ready then.
Yeah, and this is definitely par for the course. You're right. They have gone up significantly in the quality of the teams.
Yeah,
that they're playing against.
Right
now, if they were still in the HBCU, they would be dominating. Exactly. No problem.
Like
dominating.
Like you say. Like the caliber is you talking about the NCAA, man. It's just, coming from where they were. I mean, there was some good talent in the HBCU. Don't get me wrong. But it's just like, when you going against, guys that really are ready for the NFL.
Is there.
Well, yeah, because like a lot of these guys are going to the NFL that they're playing against.
Absolutely.
So you playing against guys that are basically NFL ready right now.
Right now.
So that's the difference. And I mean, and his two sons are doing well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Deion gets a lot of hate and subsequently his kids get hate because of him.
Right.
But they seem like they got strong, will, good head on their shoulders, and are not fazed by the negative energy. Of course, people talking trash because, they have lost some games and definitely have lost some winnable games.
Right.
And had a couple of times where they were dominated.
Right.
But the kids still seem good. I saw some story where they gave him some parking ticket, put a boot on his car.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's just all of the money that the Sanders have brought to this community, and y'all gonna be petty and put, because he parked his.
Look at the money that school is generating. Look at what that community is generating.
Yeah, the parking ticket is nothing. Of course, he can pay the tickets like nothing. He just being a superstar quarterback, park his car wherever you want to park it, and campus security acting funny,
top flight security.
Yeah,
right. All right, yeah. All right, we almost out of here, but Senator Tim Scott dropping out the race.
Well, what's funny about Tim Scott dropping out of the race, so he dropped out on Sunday, just days after the debate that he was in on Wednesday.
Right.
And he surprised many of the folks, the donors, and people that was working on the campaign.
Right.
Because they thought he dropped out 2 months ago.
But and now, I don't really know why he dropped out, but
it's not gaining no traction. He's at 1%.
But when he brought his girlfriend, who is white, I guess, out on stage, I don't know if that ruffled any feathers or.
I don't think so. I don't think that one. I don't think that's his girlfriend.
They say he might be gay.
He is looking like Lindsey Graham-ish. Lindsey Graham is none of these guys ever been seen with a woman before.
Right.
And, I understand some people are awkward around the opposite sex, but the way that those two looked on the stage,
it just wasn't genuine.
It just, no. Yeah. It looked like, I don't know. I just can't even, I remember I went to Phyllis's prom when I was, a kid, and we were taking pictures at her family's house, and we took pictures at my house.
Right.
And I felt awkward taking the pictures, and they touch her, these kind of stuff. I mean, because my parents are there, right? I felt awkward then. Yeah. That's how Tim Scott looked on stage.
Right.
Like, I was a kid, you know what I mean? It's just like, but this is supposed to be a grown man. This is supposed to be your girl. That wasn't his girl. They've been asking him to produce this woman for months and months, and she never comes around. And then now all of a sudden, a woman comes out. We will never see or hear from her ever again.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, right. And like with Tim Scott, man, I don't care for Tim Scott.
Me either.
And it's just that, with Tim, only thing I would say to him, man, wake up, brother, because Herschel Walker, where's he at now?
Yeah.
When they don't need you, they don't need you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you don't even hear that name no more, do you?
No, you ain't gonna hear that anymore. I guess Tim Scott was trying to make a case for maybe a job in Trump's cabinet if he was able to get elected.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
And he would, because Trump always speaks, highly of him and whatnot, But the last thing, man, and this is on a lighter note, Cosby Show coming back in syndication. Showing the rerun.
Yeah. I saw that, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
actually,
me too.
It's a great show,
yeah.
And
it's an excellent show.
Yeah, man. It's just it was very inspiring for us coming up to see that, and
you know what, and I really think, like, right now, the way things are, I think that's what we need to see.
Definitely.
Like that in reruns. That and like Different World. We need to see those shows.
I like that,
man.
too. As well.
We need to see those shows, man. Like you say, man, like Different World. College, they at a HBCU, going to school, having a good time, living their lives as young adults. And just like with the Cosby Show, mother's a lawyer, father's a doctor, kids, I mean, it was good to see that, you know what I mean, man?
I would like, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this. I would like them, because they've been doing this when streaming services have been looking for content. They've been digging in the archives and reviving shows. I would like to see a Different World, like a next generation, maybe Dwayne and Whitley are teachers at the university, and it's another crop of kids coming up, or
that would be good.
Cosby Show, maybe Rudy's grown now, or one of the kids,
and they're raising a family,
exactly,
or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. Those are shows that I would like to see, as opposed to like a straight remake of something, like a continuation type of thing.
Right. I mean, because and that's good, because I noticed on TV that they brought Frasier back.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, he had a show in the 90s?
Yeah.
Of course, that was a spinoff from Cheers.
Yeah.
And now they bringing the show back again.
Crazy.
And like you say, and that
Cheers was a big hit.
Right. That would be a good idea for like the Cosby Show or Different World, like with an updated version. Like you say, man, maybe Whitney or Dwayne Wayne could be like a professor or blah, blah, blah. You figure that was 30 years ago. So it's definitely,
they would definitely be
realistic,
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to see that. Hopefully, that's something that they could think about. And I definitely think that you can separate a person from the art, whatever their personal life was, which is why at parties, I did a party on Sunday, and I played Backyard Party. And I played Step in the Name of Love.
R. Kelly. Yeah.
Nobody had any issues. They danced fine. And it's just like, okay, whatever you disagree with, what the man may have done or did, you can still appreciate his art.
Right. Because, I mean, the guy had hits, and the hits are timeless.
I don't think that there's any R&B artist ever or in the future that's going to be able to top what he's done.
No, musically, no. Like I say, his personal life is a train wreck, but what he did musically and his talent, oh my God, man.
You can't take it away from him. You can't take it away from him.
Man, you know?
And Bill Cosby, I don't agree with everything that he has said when he was promoting his books and when he went on his college tours. I don't agree with the stuff that he was saying, and I don't agree with the actions that he's taking in his personal life. But as far as the Cosby Show and obviously executive producing Different World,
right?
Love those shows, love them,
right? You know, yeah, well, yeah, man. Good show though, man.
Absolutely,
show,
as always. So we'll be back next week.
Oh yeah,
thank you, sir.
All right.
All right.